Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Ukraine-Russia war. Ukraine is putting up stiff resistance. Breaking news. It seems the vaunted Russian army isn't so great after all. Ukraine is stubbornly digging in. The fighting now is getting closer and closer to Kiev. They're about 18 miles away. Let's get into the story. I got to give it to them, the Ukrainian people. They got a serious set on them. They're not giving up. And my understanding is over 10,000 ARs were given out to Ukrainian civilians. Look for a guerrilla war if Russia pushes forward. Ukraine-Russia war. Kiev still standing. On day 3, Zelensky refuses to leave country. He's the president. British intelligence claimed Russian forces remain 18.5 miles from Kiev center. Now, I'm not saying that everything we read in the American press is true. There is some slant. It's not so much propaganda as the Russians do, but it's close. So let's not put too positive of a spin on this, but a lot of it is accurate. In the north, towards Kiev, the Russian army is facing stiff resistance. Here's the thing that's really surprising. They still don't have, the Russians that is, still don't have air superiority, which will bog down their ground troops. The Ukrainian Air Force is just obviously stellar and defended the air above their country. The Russians do not have air superiority or supremacy even, which has to be done in order for you to advance. I got to give it to the Ukrainian Air Force. Let's read on. Kiev remains under Ukrainian control as Ukrainian President Zelensky refuses to leave his country in the third day of Russia's invasion. This guy's got a serious set on him, I'll tell you. I'll give him that. You know, they might do some things that we're not proud of, but when the chips are down for him, he's digging in. And so the Ukrainian people. I'm incredibly impressed. Russia started its advance in the capital city Friday night, but appeared to make limited progress until early Saturday morning local time when gunfire could be heard in the city center. Government officials urged people to seek shelter and avoid going near windows or on the balconies. The British intelligence report Saturday claimed the bulk of the Russian forces are now 18.5 miles from the capital, and that Russia has failed to gain control of the airspace over Ukraine. How incredibly important. That is a huge deal. Huge. Greatly reducing Russians' air forces impact and potentially leveling the fight. You're going to see why they think the Russians aren't doing so well in another related story. Russian casualties seem to be heavy and greater than anticipated or acknowledged by the Kremlin. The report from the British Ministry of Defense said, well, we don't want to say that the casualties are really high when they're not for morale. We want it accurate. But it seems like they're way heavier, the casualties on the Russian side, than anticipated. There is the president of Ukraine there. He's on social media assuring his people that, you see, he's posted a video on social media showing himself walking around the streets of Kiev after a night of artillery fire. Here's another picture when the Russians said they weren't hitting civilian residential targets. Well, it looks like an apartment building to me. And here we have Ukrainian service members look for and collect unexploded shells, because you'll get that. You don't want them laying around. It's, I'll give it to them. Members of the Territorial Defense Battalion organize a military rebout in Kiev. Now they're going to fight house to house if they have to. I have that strange feeling. Zelensky continues to provide video updates to show that he is remaining in Kiev and will continue to lead his people even as the Russians advance towards the city. Do not believe in fake information, Zelensky posted. I am here. We'll be defending our country because our strength is our truth. You know, I was wrong at the beginning. I thought, you know what, just say Ukraine will never join NATO and Putin would be appeased and that would be the end of it. I was wrong, and for that I apologize. Can't give in to these people. I don't understand Putin. I just don't get it. Those 3 tiny little provinces that supposedly were rebels were in there, and there were a lot of Russian nationals in there, and they wanted to become independent. He should have just occupied those. I have no idea what the hell he's thinking. Russian forces took a military building with a missile in clear violation of the Russian foreign minister's claim that no strikes were made on civilian infrastructure. Poland's government said Saturday morning that 100,000 Ukrainians crossed the Polish-Ukrainian border in the last 48 hours. I have zero problem with the people of Ukraine wanting to get refugee status and coming to the United States. Zero problem. Zero. They're highly educated. They have skills. They have something to contribute to the American economy and our country. I have zero problem with letting them in down the road. Russian president faces opposition both domestically and internationally. Yeah, there's quite a few. Over 2,300 people have been arrested in Russian cities in the last 2 days, protesting. European officials approved sanctions on Putin and Lavrov themselves, but continue to weigh the most severe sanctions against Russia would remove it from the SWIFT bank network and effectively cut off economically from the West. That might be a mistake. You have to give him a way out. If you take him out of the SWIFT bank network, they're backed into a corner and they'll lash out. You've got to get him a way out. And I'm afraid if they do that, it'll cut off any chance that the Russians will withdraw. Germany, Italy, Hungary, and Cyprus resisted such an extreme measure, but Zelensky and Foreign Affairs appear to have changed their minds in support of the measure. I'm not so sure. Zelensky called on European allies to decide once and for all on Ukraine's membership in the European Union, saying it is a crucial moment. I think that Putin totally misplayed his hand. Now, this may be the reason why Ukraine is, plus their stiff resistance in their backbone. Plus, they got a set on them. They're defending their country. People will defend their own territory right to the last man. Russian troops underfunded, equipped with subpar. According to reports, Russian troops seem to be largely untrained conscripts fulfilling mandatory service. So they just threw a bunch of young men with very little training into the front lines. Is that part of the strategy? That you throw in the people you think they're expendable, that'll die, to wear down the Ukraine resistance and then send in their real forces? Because only about a third or so are in the country. I don't know. And if that's true, that's really evil, number one. And number two is just invading them is evil, period. But to throw people away like so much garbage, I'm not so sure. We're going to have to see how this works out. The Russian effort to invade Ukraine appears to have been underfunded and under-equipped to handle the swift takeover that President Putin was hoping for. Russia is increasingly frustrated by the lack of momentum in the invasion, particularly in the north, because they don't have air superiority. That's the problem. Despite months of planning and preparation, Russia has yet to achieve air superiority, and Ukraine retains command and control. And then they go on the rest of it because, can't read every word of the article here. I want to make this short, so I'm going to scroll through it, and you can stop the video and read it. Part of the issue may be that Russian troops are conscripts, not highly trained. Many don't know why they are there, according to the Soldiers' Mothers Committee. Several days before the invasion, Russian women began posting on social media that their sons completing mandatory military service in the Russian army had been sent to Ukraine border and subsequently had gone silent. Unbelievable. Says some of the land forces stopped to search for food and fuel after heavy fighting Friday night. The statement advised that locals could supply fuel and sugar but did not provide specific recommendations. Locals claim that Russian soldiers are trying to buy lard and moonshine for any money, according to Ukrainian news agency. Now, I'll take that with a grain of salt. The soldiers reportedly said they had no idea where they were, but were going to Kiev. That I believe. The video posted by a Dutch news outlet showed a Ukrainian soldier investigating what appears to be an outdated Russian tank used in the invasion. This Russian is more dilapidated than our own equipment, someone says during the video. Now, they're putting up stiff resistance. And I'm sure they're not all conscripts that are in there. And I got to give it to the Ukrainian people. We can't send military aid as i.e. soldiers, but we can aid them as much as we can. I think Putin completely overplayed his hand. I'm actually incredibly surprised he did what he did. I don't know if he's having a mental breakdown or he's getting really crappy advice from his advisors. I don't know. Just because you're crazy and evil doesn't mean you're stupid. And he's played everything pretty good so far in his reign over Russia. But this time, I think the wrong idea, played the wrong cards, made the wrong bet, whatever you want to call it. This may be finally his demise. We'll have to see. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.